As families of the California shooting victims try to come to grips with their grief, some on the left say offering them thoughts and prayers is offensive. Watch.
When you offer thoughts and prayers, you mock those who lost loved ones, because if you gave it any thought at all, you would never walk away from any of these without figuring out a better way to deal with them. And prayer? You think leaving it to God is the answer? We pray for strength. We pray for wisdom, for resolve. But we clearly don't want to act on any of those here. So what are you praying for? What would it take? How about a stadium full of children of the most influential people in our society, all holding puppies? What if they were all shot and killed? Would we act?
You mean thoughts and prayers?
Yes,
I'm sorry,
and prayers.
That should be outlawed. I know it's well-intended in some cases, but
no,
usually it's a throwaway line by a staffer who knocks off some script, some product, some wordage for somebody political to make it sound like they give a damn.
Well, joining me now is Tony Perkins, Executive Director of the Family Research Council, and Igor Volsky, the Executive Director of Guns Down. I want to start with you, Igor. Earlier today, you tweeted this. You said, quote, "Screw thoughts and prayers," end quote. Why does that bother you so much?
Oh, it doesn't. Look, I pray. I know a lot of people who pray. My point is you got to pair the prayer with action. The action I want to see is moving towards a future with fewer guns. It's making guns harder to get. It's about living in safer communities. I don't care if people pray. I just think that they should pair it with actually doing something to solve our problem.
Why would you mock, though, the idea that people are trying to show their sympathy, their compassion, and nobody knows exactly what to do? They'd love to get rid of people who have mental health issues and get them where they can get the help they need. There's a lot of things people would love to do, but if they don't feel the power to do it, do you think it's powerless to pray?
Not at all. I am all for prayer. I think people are helped through prayer, and that's a good thing. I'm just saying it's not enough to just pray, because if it was, we wouldn't be having this problem anymore. But we do. And in terms of what we do, I think it's actually pretty simple. You look at what other nations have done. They've made guns harder to get. They've had licensing programs. They've raised the bar on gun ownership. And that's really what we should do here. So in terms of what to do, we know what to do. The problem is sometimes, and it's been for the last really 20, 30 years on the federal level, we fail to actually do it. So pair the prayer with action, and Governor, I'm a happy camper.
Tony, when I hear Chris Cuomo giving me a theology lecture, when I hear Chris Matthews trying to tell me that these are meaningless words, I have a visceral reaction to that. I'd like to get yours.
Well, I'm with you, Governor. Well, first off, let me say that we are praying for those families, those victims of this senseless violence. In fact, one of our team members lives in that community, and their church had a prayer, one of these prayer events. Look, let's be honest. This is an attack, the same attack that Barack Obama started with his mocking of people who cling to their religion and their guns. This is more of the effort to try and quarantine religious expression within the four walls of our churches and our synagogues. But here's a news flash. We'll get more of this. When we remove God from the public square, and we remove virtue, violence and vice rush in. And I'm tired of being lectured by liberals about their liberal gun grab. Because look, in Washington, D.C., where our office is, a gunman came in, inspired by the Southern Poverty Law Center, with 100 rounds of ammunition in a place that has some of the strongest gun laws in the country, to kill us. And he shot one of our people. Thank God. And we did thank God. We prayed to him that the shooter was incapable of carrying out what he wanted to do. Yes, people in this country do pray. And to say that laws will solve this, no. The transformation of hearts will solve this.
Hey, Mike, listen, I'm not going to take morality lessons from a man who spent his entire life denying me the right to marry, denying me the right to serve in the military, denying me the right as a gay man to even exist because he would send me into conversion therapy. So put that aside, Tony. The fact of the matter is, what we need and what the majority of Americans support are bold laws that are bold laws that make guns harder to get, that build us towards a future with fewer guns. That's what Americans want. That's where Americans are at.
Tony, let me give you the last word because we're going to run out of time. Igor, let me interrupt you because Tony's, you've kind of come at him. He's got a right to respond. Tony, take the last word.
Look. There is a moral standard, and that's why they want it out of the public square. That's God, prayer, and everything.
Don't do it.
Igor, let him finish, please.
It's God's standard, and that's the problem. They want nothing to do with a moral standard.
I want safer communities. I want kids to come home safe, and that's what every single parent
let kids know that they're created in the image of God, and they have a God that loves them.
Listen, that's fine, but what they also need is to live in communities that aren't overflowing with guns, where people don't have access to weapons of war. That's what we actually need, along with the prayer.
Thank you both. I appreciate it. Coming up, reporters